Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am ManyNinjas. Welcome to the next episode in the Rockman 4 minus Infinity run on Retro Ninja Gaming. With 2 of the 8 Robot Masters down, and 2 excellent weapons to go along with them, it's time to take on the 3rd Robot Master of the series, which in this case will be Dive Man. Okay, this stage looks a little different from what I remember. I really don't recall that squid being there before. I'm pretty sure that was actually kind of borrowed from Mega Man 8 off the top of my head, as well as making an appearance in Rockman 4, of course, for the Super Famicom. Alright, let's see. And that clam enemy definitely didn't come from there. That was definitely an addition from Mega Man 8 there. A nice touch though, where you kill the thing and leaves the bottom half of the shell kind of left over. And moving onward. Pretty much for this stage it seems they borrowed some enemies from the later games and just kind of use a Famicom version of the sprite. Probably kind of borrow a thing from, what's the word, or what's the name? I can't remember exactly who made it back in the day, but basically the various D-makes for both Mega Man 7 and Mega Man 8. Looks like something that you might find in one of those games here. Alright, with the intro part of the stage out of the way, now moving on to a bit of a health pickup, which will be needed because the next part of the stage actually sucks. On one hand, free rush chip as you kind of just drive along there, but you have everything coming along every possible way. Some mechanized dolphins, that one jumping green fish, which I don't remember the name of, and of course some nice Joes in the background heading your way from behind just because. Speaking of borrowed enemies from other games, this nice little sub kind of a blind whale enemy was definitely borrowed from one of the later titles, Mega Man 8 off the top of my head. Although we did make appearances in Rockman 4 as well, a lot of stuff gets borrowed from those particular titles for this stage. And after a nice little cinematic entrance that you would see out of maybe a Kirby game, now we're underwater all of a sudden. Unfortunately, unless you have the right weapon, that nice little buzzsaw, and that second item, I don't know what that second enemy is called. You can't actually wreck those things without the proper item here. So alright, let's go on. You could kill that thing for a funny little animation, but skip this time, we'll spare it. As we proceed into the next strangely dry area that should be underground. If you were to let those crowds hit you with the bubbles would actually send you flying backwards, possibly dragging you into the spikes to your death if you were not being careful. And of course, no underwater area can be complete without your traditional water enemies, the Toads from Mega Man 2. And now this stage has a lot of things going on, really. Both the Pippies from the second Mega Man title as well as that, and one of my favorite sections here. Hello, Anchor. How you doing? In case of how Anchor plays, so basically kind of what you expected out of the Game Boy title, although this time it's in a noticeable amount of color. I imagine there might be some kind of tell as to whether he'll jump twice or just run straight, or hop and then run, or just plain hop all the way. I just don't know it off the top of my head. But either way, it's not that bad as long as you remember just to keep kind of firing. Realistically, of course, the more you fire, the more it'll charge up his response with the Mirror Buster, but it takes so many shots in order to really build it up that it won't do much harm. Alright, and now this will prove interesting for the outtakes I'll be showing at the end of this video, but for this particular section, you get to borrow the Mirror Buster, and realistically, the game wants you to dash by as quickly as possible in order to reach the next section. Hello, Jumbig. Goodbye, Jumbig. And if you happen to have enough power to get into the next room, which I didn't on this run, it will do something special at this point. I'll be showing that after the regular footage here. Alright. Actually, a really easy way to get into the last section here. Realistically, the stage after a certain point, the intro, is really easy. And so we meet off with Dive Man himself. The fight is going on 2 levels here. Ideally, the game wants you to kind of jump onto the top card, otherwise you'll get torpedoed, for lack of a better term here. And Dive Man basically just does the either jumping back and forth, or kind of torpedoing back and forth, and his laser attack for the first part of the fight. Aside from some carelessness on my part, he honestly isn't that much of a challenger, although mind you, if you fall in that lava in the middle, you're really screwed. His weakness, as I've equipped already at this point, is the Pharaoh Shotgun. As far as his desperation mode goes, it's basically more of the same, only moving a little faster. Otherwise known as Dive Man is, especially if you have the Pharaoh Shotgun ready, absolutely no threat at all. In fact, this whole stage is probably the easiest stage I've done up to this point on this ROM hack, which makes me kind of wonder why I didn't start with Dive Man first. Oh well, you live, you learn. Got the water cutter, which is his version of the rise weapon, as well as a nice addition for Rush, the Rush Cannon Adapter, which I'll be showing off on a later video. And as for some bonus footage here, here's what a successful anchor run looks like. Thanks to the power of a bit of emulation, due to the fact that my first real proper run, where this actually worked, didn't work properly because the recorder decided to quit on me for no good reason. Now how this is supposed to work under a fair circumstance, you basically have to be sliding the whole way through and get every jump upward just right in order to make it to this last section with maybe a point or two of power left. If you manage to pull that off, that torpedo will bounce to the last and you'll fall into this nice hidden area where you'll be meeting the next hidden boss of the game. On top of this conspicuous health item here, you also have a few stage obstacles which will actually hint at what's waiting on the other side of that boss gate. If you could please, Mega Man. Your next bonus fight is Wave Man. To be honest, Wave Man is actually simpler than Dive Man in order to get through. His weakness also happens to be the Pharaoh Shotgun, and even then his desperation attack when he gets it is just that one dinky full screen attack. Once you dispatch him incredibly quickly, you get to claim as your reward the balloon item. As a side note, any of these special items can also be found in later parts of the game in case you miss them the first time around. But since we happen to pick this up early, we can proceed to use it throughout all the regular stages. And that's all she wrote for this section of the game. Join me next time as we go for boss number 4. See y'all later.